Tonight, charging the local economy.
We're going to make sure that we're leaders around the world when it comes to battery manufacturing.
The latest mega project breaking ground in St. Thomas. Plus, beginning deliberations. London's elected leaders debate the 2026 budget and how to pay for the city's services. And ready for the worst.
We need to be prepared for things that, we might not have anticipated.
Emergency training at Bruce Power.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with a major investment in the local EV sector. A Norwegian company broke ground on a $3.2 billion facility in St. Thomas today to produce sustainable battery materials. With more on the announcement and the expected economic impact, here's Brian Bicknell.
3, 2, 1, throw. All right.
Shovels hit the ground in St. Thomas once again as dignitaries broke ground for the latest project to charge up the Ontario and regional economies.
I truly believe in the EV sector. That's the way we're going to be going. That's the way the world's going. And we're going to make sure that we're leaders around the world when it comes to battery manufacturing, electric vehicles.
Premier Ford on hand as Norwegian manufacturer Vianode announced a $3.2 billion investment into its synthetic graphite plant at Yarmouth Yards. Synthetic graphite is the biggest component by weight in electric vehicle batteries. And the announcement coming on the heels of Volkswagen's groundbreaking of its $7 billion PowerCo gigafactory producing batteries for EVs. Vianode CEO Burkhard Strobe would not comment on potential deals between the two companies.
I would assume that PowerCo and Vianode have the same reasons to come, and that's a very supportive environment as we discussed today. Canada itself has a stable, predictable political system and situation, so that's very important for companies investing a lot of money.
The investment will create 300 jobs in its initial phase, with 1,000 jobs at full capacity.
So many grandparents have come up to me and said, Mayor, you know what's happened? You've made it where our kids can stay home, where our kids can work in a community where they grew up.
The new Vianode plant not going up without some public money. The province has pledged a loan of $670 million subject to conditions. The facility is being built in phases and will ultimately reach 150,000 tons of annual capacity. That's enough synthetic graphite to supply roughly 2 million EVs each year. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
London police say they're looking for suspects who smashed up a Masonville Mall jewelry store. According to police, 3 men wearing ski masks went into Carrot Jewelry around 8:30 Wednesday night, destroying display cases with hammers, stealing jewelry, and getting away on foot. Police say they have recovered 2 duffel bags filled with jewelry, but they have not said if that's all that was taken. No injuries were reported, and the suspects remain at large. After months of review, a London man has been deemed a dangerous offender. He had previously pleaded guilty to manslaughter, and as Lauren Stallone reports, he now faces an open-ended sentence.
26-year-old Preston Hill pleaded guilty to manslaughter last year before Ontario Court Justice George Orsini. The guilty plea was in addition to 2 others for assault causing bodily harm and attempted robbery. Court previously heard the charges were in relation to a random fatal stabbing in May of 2021 on Richmond Street that claimed the life of Samuel Bakare. The Crown brought forward a dangerous offender application in February based on his criminal past. Now, after months of review, Justice Orsini has deemed Hill a dangerous offender, saying, quote, "He has shown little in the way of motivation to change. He acknowledges his addiction to substances, and there are indications that he is willing to accept whatever treatment is recommended. Unfortunately, this has been the case for the better part of his criminal history." Court previously heard Hill was an accomplished athlete. However, there was also evidence that he had a difficult upbringing and was subjected to sexual abuse as a child. Justice Orsini addressed this in his decision, saying, quote, "Nevertheless, previous pre-sentence reports indicate that he has had the benefit of an otherwise stable, secure, and loving home in spite of the trauma and hardship endured by his parents and grandparents." Justice Orsini's decision was lengthy. The 57-page document took more than 2 hours to read into the court records. He concluded his decision by saying, quote, "Having considered the evidence in its totality, I find that it does not support a reasonable expectation or likelihood or sufficient reason for believing that anything less than an indeterminate sentence will protect the public against Mr. Hill's violent recidivism." This means there is no end date for Hill's jail time and will solely depend on his behavior. As the hearing ended, Hill was seen waving goodbye to family in the courtroom. Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
A London man charged with causing a crash that killed a senior 5 years ago maintained he was not the one behind the wheel today. Nick Paparella has more on his story, trying to convince the court police charged the wrong man.
When he testified during the trial, 31-year-old Baha Ali told the court that he wasn't the man behind the wheel when his speeding Mercedes-Benz crashed into a beige Hyundai at the intersection of Southdale and White Oak Roads 5 years ago. 67-year-old Joan Clubb of London would eventually die from the injuries she sustained that November day. Ali told the court he lied to police to protect his younger brother Muhannad, who was the driver. In her closing arguments, Crown Attorney Kara Douglas said, "Your Honor should reject the testimony. The evidence of Baha Ali and Muhannad Ali is not credible because they lied." The Crown said the brothers lied to police and the court, saying, "This is not an identity case. It's not a whodunit. Mr. Baha Ali was the driver." The court heard testimony and saw video that the Benz was speeding along Southdale, which is zoned for 60 kilometers an hour. The Crown said as the Mercedes approached the intersection, it was going at least 129 kilometers an hour. She added, a reasonable person would not be going over double the speed limit. The Crown told the judge to convict Baha Ali of dangerous driving causing death. The accused has pled not guilty. When defense lawyer Melina Macchia made her closing submission, she told the court that the accused is telling the truth, that he wasn't the driver on the day in question. Macchia said there's no compelling identification evidence that the court can rely on to prove Baha Ali as the driver. She told the court that the witnesses at the scene can't be relied on because the brothers look the same, saying, "We have two sets of people describing two different sets of clothing. Their description of the driver is incorrect." Before wrapping up, she told the court Baha Ali is telling the truth. Justice Barbara McFarlane is expected to hand down her verdict in the case on February 3rd. Nick Paparella, CTV News.
London police say they've laid charges against a driver they say caused a fatal crash this summer. It happened on Bridges Street near Egerton. A 49-year-old motorcycle rider was rushed to hospital but did not survive. Police say they've now charged a 58-year-old man with careless driving causing death. They say he's being released on bail, scheduled for another court appearance in January. An emotional tribute at Queen's Park this morning for the teenagers killed in last week's crash near Hanover.
I rise today to pay tribute to the victims of a tragedy in Bruce Gray Owen Sound.
The local representative for Hanover, Paul Vickers, delivered the tribute. Two 16-year-olds and a 17-year-old were killed in the rollover crash last week. He offered support for a fourth teenager who survived the crash and just returned home after a week in hospital. All four were students at John Diefenbaker Senior School in Hanover.
I want to rise today to recognize Damian Davis, an aspiring auto mechanic and volunteer for the St. Matthew's Lutheran Church, to recognize Haley Kiefer, the spunky 16-year-old daughter of Stacy and Sarah, to recognize Tyson Barley, a big brother who loved anything with an engine, and I wish Layden Price Hilliard best in his road to recovery. These teens were beloved community members and cherished by their families. Their stories captivated the hearts of Grey and Bruce counties. Madam Speaker, my heart goes out to the Hanover community as they mourn Damien, Haley, Tyson. May their memory be a blessing, and may they rest in peace.
Good evening, I'm Rita Ismail. We're live from inside Museum London. I'm joined by Andrew Keir, the head of programming here. Thank you so much for having us. We're in this beautiful space and a new exhibit. Tell us a little bit about this beautiful space.
You're in the heart of Museum London. This is our volunteer Moore galleries. This is where we feature our permanent collection, which we've just redesigned and rehung. And it's called All Around Me, All Around You. It looks at art, material culture, furniture, glass, video work, but it all explores the beauty of everyday life. So people, places, sensations, memories, everything like that just makes everyday life kind of worth living. And we have a collection here that has really been doing some excellent things here. Yeah.
You know, I got a chance to walk through before we started the show tonight, and it is so beautiful, everyday thing, but beautified, right?
Yeah.
And this is just one of 8, and you have an official launch party happening next week. Tell us a little bit about that.
That's right, November 27th from 7 o'clock till 10 p.m. We have a free party that's here, and that we'll be celebrating these 8 exhibitions. We'll have curators tours, we'll have a DJ set, we'll have artist Billy Burt Young will be here, we'll have activities like a ribbon wand making workshop, and it'll just be a lot of fun.
Sounds like a great time. Thank you so much for having us, Andrew. Let's get into the forecast. Today was a beautiful day. A little bit more sunshine than we anticipated in the morning, and as we head into the night, we do have clouds coming through. Our temperature on the hour, 5 degrees. The wind's a light breeze out of the south, about 10 kilometers per hour. You can see that cloud slowly starting to push through over Lake Huron, and it will be cloudy overnight tonight, which will keep our temperatures nice and mild. There's that weak low pressure system we've been telling you about. It is going to swing through overnight tonight, and what that means for us is some light drizzle, passing showers possible by tomorrow morning, but the rest of the weekend looks to be shaping up as a beautiful sun-filled weekend, and our temperatures will be fairly comfortable. I'll walk you through the remainder of the forecast coming up a little later in the show, but for now we're going to send it back to you.
Thanks very much, Rita. A long day of budget deliberations at City Hall with councillors recommending changes to Mayor Josh Morgan's draft budget. With more on what's in, what's out, and where the tax rate stands, here's Daryl Newcomb.
I'm not going to rob from Peter to pay Paul.
I think this is a false savings.
For more than 5 hours, city councillors wrestled with making changes to the mayor's draft 2026 budget. The longest debate, whether to pay off the health unit's $2.4 million loan now or let it be paid out over 10 years with operating dollars that are cost shared with the province.
Nobody likes backfilling somebody else's bill. The province has been a very bad partner.
There's cheaper ways to do that than paying $2.4 million on a loan that the province is responsible for 75% of.
Begrudgingly, they decided to pay off the loan now to free up operating dollars for public health initiatives.
Paying the provincial bill sucks. They should be paying it themselves. Plain and simple. But they haven't.
Meanwhile, a pitch to permanently extend 2 hours of free core area parking sparked another debate.
If someone's coming for an appointment, 1 hour is not enough. If someone's coming for a lunch, 1 hour is too tight.
The committee supported the free parking extension, which will cost taxpayers $784,000 a year. They also backed a further tax reduction, recommending $4.8 million previously collected from taxpayers to cover development charge exemptions, but wasn't ultimately needed, will now offset 0.3% of the tax rate increase over the next 2 years. But it will also leave a financial hole to fill in 2028.
We don't want to rob Peter to pay Paul. But here we're robbing Peter 2 years from now to pay Peter today.
I'm comfortable with returning some of this money, if not all, to the taxpayer as it was incorrectly collected. For me, development charges are supposed to be paid by developers.
In total, the proposed tax rate increase was reduced from 3.6% to 3.4%, equal to about $130 more next year on the average property tax bill. The recommendation supported by the Budget Committee will go to Council next week for final approval. Then it will be up to the Mayor to decide if any of them will be vetoed.
I supported most of the decisions today, and I've not vetoed in the past, so I think people can anticipate that's where I'm headed.
It would require a 2/3 majority of Council to overrule any veto. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
A Toronto-based company has filed a lawsuit against the municipality of Chatham-Kent. It's related to this property, which is owned by York One Environment Waste Solutions. Officials with the company want to reopen the landfill as a recycling facility for construction materials, but there's been vocal opposition from local residents. Municipal officials have told the company council approval is needed before any work can move forward. York One officials disagree, though, now taking the municipality to court. It's been a hectic week at the Bruce Power nuclear plant, but that's by design. Staff and officials have been taking part in emergency training, preparing for worst-case scenarios. With more, here's Scott Miller.
Bruce Power's Emergency Management Center has been buzzing this week as the world's largest nuclear plant defended itself against a possible large-scale cyber attack during an extensive province-wide emergency training exercise.
Coupled with that, there's also a fire at another building on site and protesters. So there's a lot happening, not all at once, but in pretty close succession. So it really is, challenging people on a number of fronts.
The 3-day-long emergency exercise involved hundreds of people from across the country, really, as Canada's largest nuclear facility works with officials from Emergency Management Ontario and the Canadian Nuclear Safety Commission, along with local municipalities, to train for worst-case scenarios.
We always learn things. That's why we do them, right? If we were perfect, then we wouldn't be learning. So there's always gaps that are addressed, and then we work to fill those gaps.
Previous disaster scenarios involved a tornado hitting the Bruce Power site and a plane hitting a reactor building.
Fukushima was an eye-opener for the whole industry that we need to be prepared for things that, we might not have anticipated, an ice storm, something like that. So we continue to come up with scenarios to make sure we're prepared for just about anything.
The disaster scenario dubbed Huron Unity started on Tuesday and wraps up today. These province-wide emergency exercises happen every 3 years, says Peevers, but Bruce Power has many more disasters to simulate to try and keep themselves emergency ready. Because if something goes wrong at the largest nuclear plant in Canada, the impacts could reach well beyond the Bruce Power site.
During the average year, we'll do, 50, 60 drills of various different scales involving different people on site and, make sure that we're practicing every year. And we have 5 different sort of crews that are on our emergency response organization. So each one of those will have at least, one sort of major drill each year to keep those skills sharp.
In Bruce County, Scott Miller, CTV News.
When we come back, a bench-clearing brawl during a Southwestern Ontario minor hockey game. It wasn't started by players, though. 2 coaches were throwing hands. Plus, food insecurity at record rates. The latest on grocery prices and the pressure on Canadian wallets.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's latest.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvlondon.ca, your home for news.
'Tis the season for helping others, and the Business Cares Food Drive is how we can all help Londoners in need. On November 29th and 30th, over 40 participating grocery stores and hundreds of volunteers will be collecting food and donations. Over 40% of people who use the London Food Bank are children, so your support is needed now more than ever. Let's ensure everyone has a happy holiday.
A recent minor hockey game near Windsor was disrupted by 2 coaches who started fighting. This video shows a crowd of people on the ice during a U13 game. According to officials with the Ontario Minor Hockey Association, they are investigating what happened, and all bench staff from both teams are suspended indefinitely.
It's just horrifying when kids have to witness that. It's people that you trust to do the right thing, when you're at the rink, when they go sideways like that, it has a damaging effect on our kids. And, people have to be more aware of that.
The provincial government has introduced legislation aimed at prioritizing Ontario-made goods and services. On top of impacting the provincial procurement process, it would also apply to municipalities. And as Siobhan Morris reports, breaking the new rules could mean penalties.
Whether it's patching up a road, building a new school, or establishing a mass transit line, the Ford government wants to make sure Ontario materials and services are in the thick of things. A response to the U.S. tariffs still squeezing the economy and workers, the government's tabled the Buy Ontario Act.
Would require public sector organizations to give preference to Ontario or Canadian-made goods and services when making purchases.
It's Ontario first, Canada second. Goods from elsewhere will need to be justified. To start, the rules would apply to provincial ministries, agencies, the broader public sector, right down to school boards. Next, consultation with cities and towns.
Municipalities, for the most part, have been supportive, and I think we're going to see through the consultative process that they will be on board with this legislation.
There's an acknowledgement buying local could be more expensive, but Minister Crawford explains looking for the lowest ticket price doesn't always paint a full picture.
We know that when we spend money locally, we support our local businesses, we support our communities, so there will be a weighting that will actually be put down in terms of what's the supply chain benefit right here locally.
The opposition proposed something like this earlier this fall.
We're going to look very closely at it because this government before has proposed things like that, and then we found all kinds of loopholes.
Alberta and Quebec have similar policies, but there's worry about workers in other provinces making stuff for Ontario now.
And so you wouldn't want Buy Ontario to become an interprovincial barrier. So it's kind of counterintuitive. So that's why I'm saying the devil's in the details, right?
The goal is to compile a list of Ontario suppliers to draw from to take out some of the guesswork.
I can't tell you how many small and medium-sized businesses in Ontario tell me it is almost impossible to engage in procurement with the province of Ontario. So until they fix that, this is just a slogan and not a solution.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
A new report out today says food insecurity in Canada has reached a record high. As grocery prices rise, more and more people are forced into difficult choices, figuring out how to feed themselves and their families. John Venevalley-Rao reports.
When it comes to attitudes towards food prices, the survey found they remain a top expense pressure for households.
My experience is they've been going up, 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 up.
The report finding many Canadians are increasingly challenged by persistent food inflation, and it's been changing how they shop, cook, and eat in order to cope.
Canadians are adopting frugal habits, like switching brands, looking for coupons, discounts when they're buying products.
The survey, in fact, finding almost half of the 3,000 respondents are seeking out more sales and discounts. Nearly a quarter are using more coupons and shopping at cheaper stores as they try to make ends meet.
But yeah, you can find deals and sales all the time.
With more than a quarter reporting they struggle to afford food, up from nearly 23% a year ago. Food banks have reported a huge surge in the number of families seeking help.
Nice to get it out there. Like, this is so good that people are talking about it.
Karina Roberts is a single mom with 3 boys who says she may need to start going to a food bank every 2 weeks.
They are helpful, but I mean, then again, sometimes they don't have everything either. And it's a lot of canned stuff. And that's great. It's awesome that there's that help, but there's not a lot of fresh. There's not a lot of meat. There's not a lot of fruit.
The survey found many Canadians are prioritizing eating at home to manage costs. And on average, respondents say they now pay $515 a month for household food, compared to under $500 in the spring, which is a modest increase. On that front, many do overestimate the rate of food inflation this year. Almost 1 in 3 believe prices have gone up more than 10% over the last year, nearly triple the actual amount.
And while affordability is still a major issue, the survey also finding that Canadians are cautiously optimistic that food costs may somewhat stabilize in 2026. John Venevalley-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Heading back to Museum London now, rejoining Rita Ismail live on location for us tonight. Rita, over to you.
Carlyle, I am surrounded by the All Around Me, All Around You exhibit. It's one of the 8 new installations here at Museum London, and it is beautiful. The space here has been reimagined, and of course you can come down next Thursday for a launch party event happening right here beginning at 7 p.m. It's pay what you can. You can come in and explore the changes that the museum has installed. Let's get into the forecast. A gorgeous day today overall. More sunshine than we had planned for, but we'll take it. Our temperature right on the mark, 6 degrees and seasonal. Overnight low was -5, so a bit of a chilly start to the day, but overall not a bad one. Record 19 degrees on this day in 1953. As we head into the night, we are going to remain on the mild side, anywhere between 3 to 7 down in Windsor and Chatham, Kent, and the winds are a light breeze right now out of the west, about 10 kilometers per hour, but it will start to gust as this low pressure system swings on through. And as you can see, it is fairly weak. It's going to cross over the Great Lakes, Lake Huron, and push throughout. Grey and Bruce County will pick up some light drizzle, some passing showers for us here in London. All of that activity happening overnight. You can see that here on the forecast model. Some spotty showers early in the morning as well throughout London and down through Elgin County, but then breaking into sunshine afternoon and holding on to that for the weekend. We'll be under mostly clear conditions to a mix of sun and clouds Saturday and Sunday, and our temperatures will be reasonable. Tonight, though, those clouds are starting to build. The periods of drizzle again overnight. We're going to stay on the mild side, anywhere between 5 and 6 degrees, and then overnight into tomorrow morning, the winds out of the west 10 kilometers per hour, 3 degrees. Not a lot of moisture associated with the system, but the winds will kick up in behind it tomorrow. So that's something that we will factor into play. So your Friday will have breezy winds out of the west, 20 to 40 kilometers per hour, and then mainly sunny conditions into the afternoon. We're expecting to reach a daytime high of 9 degrees, so a few degrees above what's normal for this time of year, although the winds will be a bit cooler out of the west. Let's plan your 7 days. So Saturday and Sunday, as of right now, look to be a nice mix of sun and cloud to mainly sunny conditions, ranging between 5 to 10 degrees. We're expecting to hit that double-digit daytime high on Sunday and then remain quite mild Monday through to Tuesday before another system pushes through and brings in some light rainfall. And then in behind that, a bit of a temperature drop. Thursday, a week from today, we're expecting to drop to near the freezing mark, heading into late next week. Midwestern Ontario, the bulk of this low pressure system will impact you with cloud cover and, of course, that light drizzle, passing showers overnight into tomorrow morning. Bit more cloud cover for your Friday, taking a little bit longer to clear out, but you should see the sunshine peak throughout the afternoon. And then Saturday and Sunday look to be great, although a bit cooler early in the morning. Saturday, we do recover nicely. Again, on Sunday, expecting to hit 7. Lots of sunshine forecast for Monday, under mainly sunny skies with a high of 7, and then 8 degrees on Tuesday. That system appears to be more widespread, so everybody will get a little bit of rainfall. There'll be wraparound showers in store for Wednesday, and then a big temperature drop late next week, hitting the freezing mark. So not a bad forecast. Again, we're inside tonight, keeping nice and warm inside Museum London. This is the All Around Me, All Around You exhibit, 1 of 8, and you can check them all out. Pay what you can next Thursday, starting at 7 p.m. Come on down and explore the beautiful museum. I'm going to throw it back to you, Carlyle.
Rita, thanks very much. Coming up, setting a deadline for the Epstein files. What comes next after the bill to release the documents gets a presidential signature?
I'm Scott Miller. Please have a listen to the current episode of my podcast, where I'm joined by Lori Carter, founder of Cemetery Enthusiasts of Huron County.
Backroads with Scott Miller. Available at iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
Great concert coming to the Forest City. Dallas Smith is playing Centennial Hall, and we got your final chance to win some tickets tomorrow morning.
Yeah, he'll be here next Saturday on the 29th and at 8:35 when you weigh in. Good luck.
CTV's parent company, Bell Canada, has laid off nearly 700 people. A company spokesperson says the reduction represents about 2% of Bell Canada's workforce. The vast majority are management positions, all non-unionized, along with 40 positions at Bell Media. The spokesperson says the layoffs are part of a 3-year strategic plan focused on delivering sustainable growth. A new report shows Canadian homeowners are catching up on mortgage payments. For the first time in 3 years, the national mortgage delinquency rate fell, according to the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation. However, the number of people in arrears still trended up in Ontario. Homeowners in Wasaga Beach are speaking out, saying the homes they bought are not finished yet. They say it's been years and some items they were promised have not come to fruition. Pat Foran reports.
George and Sands is a major development in Wasaga Beach that already has 570 homes, and there are plans to add another 900 over the next decade. Boris Tessel says following delays, he was able to move into his home 2 years ago. He is generally satisfied with the property, but says amenities he was promised when he purchased his home never materialized.
These are things that they used as a promotional for people like me or anybody who bought to buy this house. And now, after years, we still don't see any of it.
Tessel still has the sales brochures and the maps of the community showing family-friendly items that have yet to go ahead.
Here's where the baseball diamond for kids was supposed to be. Here's where the tennis courts was supposed to be and pickleball court was supposed to be. None of this stuff is here.
There were also plans for a retail area with shops and businesses, none of which has started. Outside Tessel's front door, there was supposed to be a golf clubhouse where he hoped to spend some time, but he says this huge pile of dirt has been there for more than 2 years. Tessel says there's been a lack of communication, and he just wants to know if the items promised will be built.
I want it to be done. We were promised something. I want to deliver it.
We went to the sales office for George and Sands, but there was no one there. We reached out to Elm Developments, and a spokesperson said, given recent economic headwinds, Elm Developments has faced unforeseen market conditions that require additional planning and timeline considerations. A future retail plaza remains part of the overall plan. CTV News also reached out to Tarion, which ensures builders meet standards set by the Ontario New Home Warranties Act. A spokesperson said Tarion's expectation is that a builder delivers what was included in the purchase agreement they made with their purchasers. Tessel believes the items promised should get done.
I fulfilled my end of the deal. They should fulfill their end of the deal. They got paid for it.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Checking today's market numbers, in Toronto, the TSX fell more than 370 points thanks to losses in the basic materials sector. In New York, the Dow shed about 400, the Nasdaq plunged close to 500. The Canadian dollar was off about 1/5 of a cent. On commodities, gold lost about $23 an ounce. Oil was down 1/4 a barrel. Still ahead, remembering a local pioneer for human rights. We look back at the legacy of Martin Withenshaw.
Dallas Smith is bringing a special one-night-only unplugged show to Centennial Hall on November 29. And Pure Country 93 and CTV London have your chance to win. Enter online at ctvlondon.ca for your chance to score a pair of VIP tickets.
Welcome back. The U.S. Justice Department is now on the clock to release the Epstein files. Officials must hand over the documents. However, they can withhold some information. With the latest on the timeline, here's Joy Malbin.
It's the moment many of the survivors and their families had been fighting for. Within 30 days from now, the Justice Department must release the files from their investigation into the late convicted sex offender, Jeffrey Epstein.
My sister couldn't name those names simply because, it would put her life at risk. It would put her family's life at risk. These people could sue you into homelessness. They're so powerful.
President Donald Trump, who was friends with Epstein for more than a decade, had resisted releasing the records, reversing course at the last minute, and still calling it a hoax he claims distracts from his achievements. So how much could Trump's Justice Department release? Already there's a large loophole. The law says information could be withheld that would jeopardize an active federal investigation or prosecution.
even though they had previously said there's nothing more to investigate here, I believe precisely in order to try to shield information, they have opened a new investigation, which is on its face politically tinged, going after only Democrats.
President Trump just ordered new investigations into prominent Democrats like former President Bill Clinton and former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers, who stepped back from his teaching position at Harvard as the university investigates his ties to Epstein.
Any tactic to delay this process is another smoke and mirror from this administration. And the American people have to be watchful of how they implement this bill.
Documents that could shine a light on Epstein's crimes include flight logs, travel records, investigations, plea agreements, and financial entities tied to Epstein's child sex trafficking ring. Joy Malvin, CTV News, Washington.
The federal and Alberta governments are reportedly close on a pipeline deal that could bring Alberta oil to the BC coast. At this point, though, there doesn't appear to be a private backer for the pipeline, and it's a project the BC Premier has repeatedly opposed. According to BC officials, exempting a potential pipeline project from a tanker ban in northern BC could derail billions of dollars worth of local projects. The Alberta Premier has argued a new pipeline will help her province's oil reach new Asian markets. A proposed referendum question on whether Alberta should leave Canada is now before the courts. The Alberta Prosperity Project brought its referendum question about separation forward in July. According to Alberta's Citizens Initiative Act, proposed questions must respect Canada's Constitution Act. Alberta's chief electoral officer referred the group's question to the courts to decide if it should be allowed. The bill's supporters say the hearing is an unnecessary delay.
It's not legally binding, on the rest of the country. It doesn't automatically affect separation. It leads to the government of Alberta being able to seek those amendments with the rest of the partners in Confederation. But it doesn't immediately cause anything to happen.
If the Alberta Prosperity Project's question is approved, the group would have 4 months to collect 177,000 signatures.
Welcome to this week's London List. I'm Rita Ismail, and I'm joined by Luke Rodriguez from Afternoons on Virgin Radio. Now, Luke, the holiday spirit is in full swing right across the region. Let's kick things off with a fantastic light show.
That's right. The Auburn Group is celebrating Magic of Lights. It's returning, powered by Liuna Local 1059. This is a dazzling display of lights. It's happening for 2.5 kilometers. Always a fun time. It returns to the Fanshawe Conservation Area this Friday and runs until January 3rd. We actually have a Virgin Radio night that's coming up on December 9th. I'll be broadcasting live.
I love that.
It's a Taylor Swift theme. So Taylor Swift
fun.
Christmas music. We're going to have Taylor Swift friendship bracelets as well. All if you bring a donation to Toy Mountain.
That sounds like a great time, and I've been through that 2.5 kilometers. It is absolutely brilliant. Now, in keeping with the Christmas spirit, something else that's rolling through the city this weekend?
That's right. The CPKC holiday train is coming back. It's going to roll through London on Friday at 8:30 p.m. This is your chance to see the brightly decorated train with a musical performance that's happening at Richmond and Piccadilly. If you're planning to come, make sure that you bring a food donation, which goes towards the local food bank.
And of course, we have 2 spectacular performances on the big stage here in London.
Yeah. Now, am I going to sing or are you going to sing?
Let's do it together.
Okay. Do you want to build a snowman? That was incredible.
Right.
Okay, Frozen is coming back. It's at the Grand Theater. It runs until December 28th. Tickets are still on sale at the Grand. And The Grinch is in town until Sunday. You can check that out with 3 shows on Saturday. Tickets are still available too.
I got to see that last night, and it was so much fun. My daughter absolutely loved it. I highly encourage you to get out there and watch it.
You got to meet the Grinch too, right?
I did. It was so much fun.
Steal Christmas.
Stayed in character the whole time. And lastly, something if you're looking for some good tunes.
That's right. Classic Albums Live is in town. The show is at 8 p.m. at Centennial Hall if you want to go check that out.
All right. Thanks so much, Luke. That's it for this week's London List.
Today's weather snapshot sent in from our viewer Rosemary Travis. She took this photo during a sunny walk through Canatera Park. Thanks so much for sharing. Cloud cover increases tonight, passing showers possible overnight, but mostly mild and a nice sun cloud mix for Friday, with breezy winds out of the west, 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. We're in for a pleasant weekend with partly sunny skies, breezy but mild. The rain returns Tuesday with cooler temperatures late next week.
A deadly fire broke out in a Brampton home this morning, killing 2 people. Local fire officials say they found one body inside the townhouse complex. Another was found outside. They say 4 other people were rushed to hospital in critical condition, including a child. At this point, investigators have not said what started the fire. A prominent leader in the local Pride community has died. As Sean Irvin reports, Martin Withenshaw was a champion for rights at a time when support was not always a given.
Over 4 decades, Martin Withenshaw helped to boost the profile of the LGBTQ+ community in London. In the early 1980s, there were few public supporters.
I grew up here, and it was very different when I was growing up here 40 years ago. I find it a lot more welcoming now, but there's always these things that need to be done.
And getting things done was Martin, or as his friends knew him as, Marty's mantra in life. Some friends share he could be bossy, but more often, Marty was just full of love. In his lifetime, he was known as a business owner, an advocate for those seeking employment. But it was Martin's work in the LGBTQ community that stood out.
If it wasn't for this generation that Martin grew up in, maybe our children wouldn't have the chances they do now. That's how loudly he advocated. He knew the future could be better for anyone identifying under the rainbow.
Withenshaw's legacy includes taking the London Pride Festival to the next level, according to longtime President Andrew Rosser, who shared his thoughts via telephone.
He was able to lead Pride London Festival into Victoria Park, which had never been done, and it's been there now for, almost 15 years.
Withenshaw was the recipient of multiple awards during his lifetime, but none greater than when he was selected as the Grand Marshal of the Pride Parade in 2019. It was there he told us he welcomed his role as an advocate, but also pushed others to speak up.
The Two-Spirit community, they have to come out and they have to speak. I can't speak for them because I'm not Two-Spirit. Same as I can't speak for the lesbian community. I can't speak for them. They got to come out and speak for themselves. So that's the one thing that I think that people have to realize is that each group have their own message.
It is a call to action that escalates with Withenshaw's passing. And while his voice is now silent, friends say his legacy will be remembered by Londoners for decades to come.
He was a hero in London, and he did it without any selfishness or any looking for any accolades.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
More than 24 historic art pieces owned by Hudson's Bay have now sold at auction.
Selling now at Heffel's, the Churchill, $1.3 million, and congratulations to your bidder, Sir Winston Churchill.
The big ticket item, a painting by former British Prime Minister Winston Churchill. It was initially expected to sell for around $500,000. It went for much more, as you heard. In total, the auction house sold off 27 pieces.
Today at Heffel.
London's top stories.
We have breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. The latest on the
breaking news alerts.
I'm tracking an area of severe weather. It'll start.
And watch live.
A development now to a story from City Hall we brought you.
Download the CTV News app.
I'm Sherry Flick, host of Weekend Spotlight, Saturday mornings, 8 a.m. This Saturday, Luke Rodriguez from Virgin Radio Afternoons joins me. We'll also speak with Abby at Museum London about all kinds of fun things going on there, and an organization in London that offers international travel for 10 to 17-year-olds. And finally, an amazing concert coming up to raise money for Regional HIV/AIDS Connection. We'll tell you more. That's Saturday, 8 a.m.
It's time to build a toy mountain. Make this holiday season merry for so many kids. Bring new unwrapped toys to CF Masonville Place.
All in support of the Salvation Army.
We will be collecting donations November 21st to December 24th.
With all donations helping families right here in our community. Toy Mountain, supported by Gomez Appliances, London Bass Center, and UBC Built Local 1946.
Let's make this the best Toy Mountain ever. Visit ctvlondon.ca for more ways to donate.
Finally tonight, the little-known Canadian designer outfitting Elvis impersonators all over the world. Andrew Johnson has more on the BC seamstress and her reputation for iconic costumes.
Inside a modest Nanaimo, BC home, you'll find one of the world's only major suppliers of a certain sort of swagger.
They're beautiful, you know. I never get tired of working on them.
Stitch by stitch, Eleanor von Bedeker and her staff recreate the signature look of one of the past century's brightest stars.
I think it's just Elvis is the full package.
I hope this suit don't tear up, baby.
A big part of the Elvis Presley package, his iconic 1970s jumpsuits, complete with cape. Von Bedeker, a costumer by trade, started making them for Elvis tribute artists close to 20 years ago. Now, with 8 employees, she can barely keep up with demand, shipping out 600 jumpsuits a year, each priced between $1,000 and $4,000. And her clients' average age may surprise you.
Teenagers or young adults who are just getting started.
Young performers like Jonathan Hicks, a.k.a. Johnny Elvis, who comes to Eleanor.
It's a little tight across the thighs.
To perfect his look, impersonating the man he has idolized since he was 5.
I try to really study, go on my iPad, or I watch YouTube videos of him in the 70s. It's full time, and I'm very, very blessed to showcase my talent.
Hicks makes a living channeling Elvis full time, which I discovered is harder than it looks.
You do this whole stance, microphone in.
Left hand is mic.
And you can do a shimmy, you know? Faster. Come on. Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's a labor of love for both Johnny and Eleanor, 2 of many, keeping the legend alive close to 50 years after Presley's death.
For my darling, I love you.
Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Nanaimo, BC.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. I'm back tonight with your late news at 11. Bye for now.